We're live.
Hello, live. Panda in.
Yeah, Panda in. Welcome to Two Hats and Chat, where Jerry and I talk about all things tech, hacks, and cyber attacks.
And some things pandas.
In Wilkes Community College.
In the shoulder of North Carolina.
In the shoulder of North Carolina, maybe in the heart of Wilkes County.
We did not. Did we resolve that?
I meant to look it up, but I actually forgot.
Oh, well.
I thought about that yesterday when I left. And I was like, oh, man.
We should have done that.
Yeah, I should have done that. So what's up?
I have no peaches.
They're all gone.
All two are gone, yeah.
Oh, no.
So apparently the little, I don't know, the
crystalline.
Yeah, the goopy stuff might have been bad.
Okay. Well, so they're just gone.
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
Oh.
They're just like, dude, peace out.
Didn't take them out.
They just did a panda out on me. They just went panda out. I was like, oh, all right, I got you.
It could have been a deer. Are they close enough to the ground?
No, I've got a fence around it.
Oh.
So, no.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Same thing happened last year, so.
All right. I transplanted some jalapenos. So the ones that were all next to each other, I kept the good ones where they were, like the tall ones.
Okay.
And then I plucked out the smaller ones and got some soil and put them in the other planter, and it's been weird. There's something called plant shock.
Oh.
Transplant shock? I don't know what it's called.
I actually have heard like plant shock.
Yeah. And so they were looking great. And then I did it towards the evening.
Okay.
So they were looking great. They were standing straight up. And then I thought, okay, well, when the sun hits them, they're going to be even more jovial. They're going to love it. But when the sun came over them,
okay,
right when it touched it, they kind of like wilted a little bit. And apparently that's just what happens. The sun makes it beg for more water a little bit, but I watered where they were. Right. So I don't know, just my first experience taking kind of a new plant. And
right.
I mean, I took it out. I didn't take it out with the little root ball, I guess you could say.
Right, yeah,
I just took it out roots, just roots, and put it into dirt.
Maybe you needed a whole little.
So I needed like a little clump or something, or me to dig around it maybe, but there wasn't enough room because we planted them so close to each other. So we've got a plan.
Sounds like multiple lessons learned.
Yeah, we got a plan for next year. We're gonna take. So, my wife's a baker, so she gets these eggs in like a carton, like a bigger carton, and it's kind of made out of this brownish cardboard material, but the sizes of them where the eggs are is kind of perfect to put you
put a little bit of something in,
dirt in, plant a seed, and then have it grow up, and then you take that whole little
that makes sense.
I'm gonna try that next time.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you should do that.
I should
see what happens.
All right, so. What are we chatting about today, Jerry?
Well, I had fun yesterday afternoon. I'm going to make lots of references that maybe you'll get, maybe you won't.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to make one reference, but I did my Suzanne Summers commercial.
Right.
Which, I don't know. I'm waiting to see it on Facebook because I do wonder if they're going to have like like things going in front of me, and I could have been like, oh, you could do this, or you could do this, or
yeah.
It was interesting. I probably shouldn't quit my day job.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah.
I actually thought you did really well.
Yeah, but you would lie to me. So.
No, no, because whenever
see, I was counting on you that you would lie to me.
Whenever you're acting in front of, so we don't really have to act here.
Well, no.
This is kind of just us talking about stuff. Yeah. But when you're acting in front of a camera, it feels a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just kind of hard to ignore that. And then go deep into the. So I think you did.
Yeah,
great.
it was challenging, but anyway. So yeah, what the whole ad was about was this new certificate we're doing that is technically called CBE, competency-based education. Which then everybody's like, well, what's that mean? And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to like invent the wheel, so to speak, which is it's an exciting thing to do. The easiest way that I can really kind of explain it is it's like this self-paced, skill-based kind of approach to learning that kind of theoretically takes the best of what we're currently doing and drops the bad part and can maybe be really good.
Right.
I remember back in my day when I was working private sector to do certifications, and we still had the alphabet soup of certifications back then. They were just different. There was Novell had a CNE, Microsoft was MCSIE. If I'm getting them wrong, just throw them in the comments. But I remember CompTIA came out with the A+. EC Council just started CEH back in 2000, 2001. So, I mean, there were still exams. But how you prepared for the exams, Professor Messer was probably around.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on YouTube.
He just wasn't making videos for
He wasn't
free.
on YouTube. Wasn't on videos. So what did you do? You went and bought his book. No, you didn't go to Amazon. You went to Books A Million. You went to brick and mortar back in that day. And I can remember the company that I was working at, we're moving towards CNA, which is the Novell Netware certification at that time. If you're not familiar with that, that was one of the leading network operating systems. Back when you had your operating system and you had the network operating system, they were separate creatures. And then eventually everybody was like, you could put them together. And we all went, you could do what?
You can make them the same?
That's legal? What? Revolutionary. So to prepare for the CNE, what we did was we went to the bookstore and we bought a set of books. It was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 books, like 5,000 pages or whatever. Take a few extra computers we had, dedicate part of the shop, and build a Novell NetWare and learn on that, read the book, break it, read the book. Oh, can't fix it. Restart. Because we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all these resources. Right. So certification back then was you in the book.
Right. And it was
so kind of the whole point of this CBE, from my perspective in IT, is, hey, you want that Security Plus, you want that Network Plus, you want that Linux Plus, that A Plus, but you don't want to just read a book? Awesome. I don't want to just read a book either.
Right.
So, come take these classes. These are at your pace. You're just going through them, and the goal is to prepare you for those exams by preparing you for specific competencies, and then you have to pass the competencies.
Yeah, and so instead of it being like more traditional of coming into class, listen to a lecture, you're given an assignment, do the assignment by a certain date, and then rinse, repeat, and throwing an exam or two in there. It's more like self-paced, and then there are a set of competencies for the class, and then you just complete those competencies successfully.
Correct. Yeah.
Master them, and then you complete the class.
I mean, we've both been students. You're probably a better student than I ever was, but I can remember my first day. I'd get the syllabus, and I'd go, let me see where the grading policy is. Okay, so 40% is this, 20% is this, 10% is this. So I can probably not do that and be okay.
You mapped it out. Yeah.
So what do I need to get what I want?
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, it's different.
There are assignments to practice, but they're not part of your grade.
Right.
There's a competency. So like maybe in a class you have to set up a DHCP server.
Yep.
And that's it. That's not the whole class. But that's one of the competencies.
Yeah,
or
maybe can this student set up a DHCP server?
Or you have to install and configure a lamp stack. Can you do that? And it's like, how do we traditionally do that in our current classes? Well, we have an assignment on using Vim or Nano or VI and I know I used a lot of curse words right there, but one of those counts and the other.
First one was really good.
Emacs. We'll throw some Emacs in there too.
Emacs. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's its own creature. So we'd have that, and you do that, you do well, and then we'd have some assignments on APT installing, and you do that, and you did well, and then maybe you don't do well on another assignment, but it all came together. And it's like, hey, I did well in the class. But with the competency, it's like, no, you need to really kind of use these building blocks to do a mastered subject.
To do it to like a it's kind of, in my mind, a little bit like having almost like a midterm or a few midterms. You come in, you study really hard for this cluster of things that work together.
Correct.
And then you come in and show that you can do those things. I think from an employer standpoint that's looking at a student from that program, they will know, like, they had to have been able to do at least the thing I'm about to talk to them about, because it
Correct.
was a competency
It was a
that they had
competency,
to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And so that's great.
Yeah,
From
yeah, and we're
employability.
kind of like modeling it after like how Western Governors does some stuff and how some other schools. Of course, they have the certification exams embedded in their classes. We're not there yet. That'd be a cool thing. Maybe
It'd
we
be
can
great.
figure out how to do that at some point in time. But I mean, I go back to like my experience when I was in private sector to prep for these exams. It was you in the book. And if you were in an environment where you could do what we would now call a home lab, you did it. But otherwise, yeah, it was you in the book.
Yeah.
And so this is for those who need those certifications who are probably in industry. Well, then let's get you up to speed and let's give you a place where you can practice what you need, and then we'll test you on those competencies, and you should come out of the classes ready, instead of coming out of the class with, hey, I did really well on these assignments that I could look up on IT exam answers, and I did really well on these quizzes that I could look up on IT exam answers. And then when I came in and did the final skills assessment that was in class, in person, no IT exam answers, I didn't do so well.
Yeah.
But I got a B in the class because of all this other stuff I could pull off of Google.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
I think it does have more rigor to it. It makes someone. It's kind of like old school, like when I was in college the first time around, and there was like, you don't bring your laptop into this programming class. You have a pencil and paper, and you're
Yeah.
going to write down. I'm going to give you a daily quiz, and you're going to write down, how do you do this in Java? How do you do this in C? How do you do this in assembly? Things like that. And for those, like, you really had to know what you're doing, because you don't have a device
Right.
helping you with syntax or anything like that. And that's what it feels like. And I'm actually kind of glad, in the age of AI where people can look up things, I actually prefer the competency idea of them actually getting completion on something. The thing that throws me for a loop that we haven't mentioned yet is, you're doing this while you have access to every other class that semester, which I think some part is a little overwhelming, but also kind of neat, because if you have the gusto, you can kind of complete the entire thing in whatever window of time you believe that you can.
Yeah, and back in my day, that's just going to be my mantra today. But when I finally did go back to university, 1999, I did go back. I found an online program, and one of the first classes I had to take was what we now call CS1, your first programming class, like you were talking about, and it was a Java class. I already knew Java. I'd been writing code in Java for several years, but I had no class in Java. I had no proof, academic proof that I knew Java. But the professor of that class, he sent me all the assignments, and he said, just send them to me when you get them done. 2 days later, I sent them to him, and on the third day, that class was graded, and I was done.
Oh, wow.
So that's what this is kind of
It
built
could be
towards.
that,
It's built towards those who maybe have those skills, but at the same time, if you don't, we still have the lectures. We still have, like you were saying, these other assignments, or I was saying, we were both saying, these other assignments that kind of help lift you up to get you ready for
Right.
this. So it's not just throwing you into the deep end. We still have the low-hanging fruit to help you out, but the low-hanging fruit isn't graded for your final grade.
Right.
It's to help you out. It's to get you ready.
It's to get you ready for it. And I actually, like, because of how I'm currently doing school, because I'm trying to get my graduate degree, while I'm also.
Well, I mean, you are getting it.
Yeah, I am getting. I'm not trying.
Yeah.
There's
no try. There's do.
Only do. Yes. But I am getting my graduate degree. However, it's just a traditional but online.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a little bit of leniency, but I have a window of about a week where it's like, you have to watch the lecture and do your assignments within this week. Whereas CBE is, you have the semester to complete this class. Do it when you can. Added on to the fact I'm only doing really 1 or 2 classes a semester right now. But I personally, I would feel that if I was doing a CBE style while working, it would work better for my schedule because I might have a weekend where I have a lot of time and I can get a huge chunk of the class done. I might even get a single competency done or maybe even an entire class done in 2 weeks.
I mean, maybe. You never know.
Because the class I'm taking this fall is networking and telecom.
Gee, if only you knew anything about that stuff.
I actively teach that stuff, so it's like I probably don't need. Now I'm learning it from the perspective of computer science, which I'm thinking in my mind could be very interesting depending on what he wants to teach.
Could
me.
be more programmatic,
and it would. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not doubting that at all. But what I am saying is that there probably is a chunk of the class, like, here's what a fiber cable is. Here's what a copper cable is. Like, here's the standards. And so
let's talk about the OSI 7-layer model. I bet you've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know this stuff, but like maybe there's some of the class I don't, but those competencies that I could know and
you could
get
blow them out of the way.
Exactly.
And then start working on the other one if you're stuck on something, you could reach out. It's like, hey, I've watched the videos. I've been working on this. I'm still struggling with this. And even with our program, we're still here. Yeah. It's not like we're saying, oh, you're registered by.
You're by yourself.
We're still here, and we are still in the lab. And come on down. Let's order a pizza. Let's figure out how to do this stuff.
That'd be awesome.
I probably shouldn't have said that, but
now
or maybe why not?
Involved.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. And yeah, I mean we were talking yesterday, and we both could list off the students that are employed, third shift, second shift, first shift, somewhere, and that they know a lot of this stuff, if not all of it, but they don't have the classes.
Yeah.
So they need the degree for a degree for career advancement. And a program like this is just, hey, you already know this stuff. Oh, you didn't know this little piece? Well, let's focus on this while you just blow through those other 5 you already knew.
Right. And I feel like a community college is set up to be a nice transition for a person coming out of high school to get into university. I think it's an excellent transition.
Yeah.
Having gone straight to university, I'm saying my first time around because I had to come back and do it the right way. But it was incredibly difficult because when you go to these universities, I didn't go to a private university. I went to Appalachian State. I loved Appalachian State.
I went there too.
But
as a graduate student,
I was not prepared for the gen ed at Appalachian State, where if I would have come straight here instead and then gone
transition,
I feel like I would have been better. So I think it's perfect for that. But I also feel like community college is perfect for people who are coming back. Just like what I did the exact same thing. I came back and decided, okay, this time I'm actually ready to learn, and I'm going to do it through the college this time, through the community college, and then work my way back maybe. And I think it's also good for people that are even older and maybe had a job and they're like, you know what, I'm tired of doing the job I'm doing. I'm going to go back and learn another skill and then pursue that career. It's perfect for all three of them. And where do you think CBE is the best fit for those, let's just say 3 for now, categories?
I mean, those 3 categories, I don't know that CBE is the best fit for I just graduated high school and I'm ready. I don't know that it's the best fit there necessarily, but that's also that I'm being really generalized here because I don't know what the student did in high school.
Exactly. Yeah.
For all I know, they did a bunch of classes. For all I know, they have a home network. I don't know where they're at. So,
they don't require a lot of structure.
Yeah, so that's a difficult one to answer.
That might be the exception more than the rule.
It probably is. I mean, it probably is. But
focusing on our area and it being rural, it probably is more that a student would require some more structure.
And even within the CBE, we can still have the structure.
Exactly.
That's the thing. The structure can still be there. Now, the way we're currently doing it, as we're trying to figure this stuff out,
as the pilot,
our current certificate this fall is online. So we're figuring this structure out. Bear with us on this.
We're trying to get going.
But we're take what worked here, and kind of put it together. So it's really exciting to be on the forefront of it from that perspective. But back to your question, the older person who's wanting career change, I think it's potentially a great fit.
Right.
And we've had some of those students. The person who's currently in workforce, great fit.
And I feel like they could fit in that.
They could fit in that well. And I think there's another category that is kind of both of those combined. That might be like the military veteran who is currently working and is primary breadwinner, but because of their work shift, they can't do traditional, so they need some options.
Options, yeah.
And this, we're talking about somebody who already has discipline, military. They've already got discipline. They're coming back, kind of the older example, they're coming back because they want to go in a different direction, so they're motivated, like you were saying.
Yeah.
They're here for a purpose. It's a great fit for them as well, because one of the things that bothered me when I went back to school finally was all of what I called the busy work assignments.
Right.
That I have to do because it was part of the 40%. And that's traditional education. That's not in a competency-based class. We do have those assignments, but if you don't do them...
You don't need them.
If you don't need them, if you don't do them, it's not okay.
It's not. If you do them and do great on them, that's great. But it's also not helping you, but it's also not held against you.
Right.
It's more or less the assignment is there to help you prepare for the competency.
Yeah, right.
And that part of it, I see as positives across the board.
Yeah.
It's hard to see a negative in the fact that this person is going to have to show that they can do what they claim they can do.
Yeah, that they can do task X.
And that's great. And it being self-paced is great. I think that's awesome.
I mean, like if we look at your web programming class as a simple example, if I remember right, one of your competencies has to do with some PHP database stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got some lectures, you've got some practice assignments, some maybe even a quiz or two in there to kind of, hey, let's make. But if I've been doing web design for 20 years, woo.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I can just do the competency and not do those other things. And you would be like, okay, well, give it a shot. And I do it, and you're like, huh, yeah, you got
Great
it. Okay,
job.
let's go to the next one.
Exactly.
It works well.
Yeah.
So I do think there's potential. It's just thinking out the roadblocks before we run into them face first.
Yeah.
And as we have those conversations, I think we both see a lot of roadblocks that may or may not actually be real.
Yeah.
So then we're trying to plan for things that we actually don't even know. Well, is this going to be a problem? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's plan for it in case.
I definitely, and we've talked about this in person, but I've got reservations, that, but I still believe that our college trying it is good. We should try it.
I think there is huge potential. I'm really excited to try it out.
And I think we're one of, if not the first, community colleges in North Carolina to give it a shot. Am I totally wrong on that?
I think so. I feel like you're probably right. We're one of the ones that are kind of like leading the charge on this pilot approach.
Which is neat.
Yeah,
it's
neat.
Set
Yeah.
the tone for this is what worked, this is what doesn't, and I think we both came to the idea of CBE as a definition might not fit perfectly, but there's nothing saying that we can't like mix and match. We can't make a hybrid.
Do some hybridization. It's just it just takes me back to some other academic conversations like flipped classroom and things like that, which that's academic jargon that really doesn't matter to the student. But for any educators out there, it's like, oh, okay, well, I start knowing some of this jargon. But I go back to it's self-paced and it's skill-based. And I just don't see how that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That is like a win, and I think there's another win in there somewhere. I'm really excited to do it. I think it's going to be really a neat opportunity. We just invested a lot of money in all this AV equipment that they're currently replacing some stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's just such a great opportunity, and I look forward to students trying it out and seeing their success.
I look forward to the stats to see, like, dive into the data of it and see, like, what worked, what didn't, and then the direction that we're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing is true about the community colleges, we actually care about the students here. They're not a number. We have small enough classrooms to where we learn people's names. We actually, invest in a little bit of their lives if they're, like, needing a little bit of help and stuff like that. And I like the idea that from what I've gathered from our topic, even yesterday when we were talking about it in a meeting, is that we are going to do what's best for the college, like, for the people here. And I think that is what matters when it comes to, like, any sort of change at all that could be on the horizon, is that we have people's best interest in mind when we make any decision, but we have to give it a shot at full force before we can actually determine what would be best going forward. And it's kind of like, I don't think I'll ever forget this. One day in class, when I was in a game development class with you, a decade ago, you showed us a picture. You showed us a painting.
Yeah, and I know who this is going to be.
You said, guess who
painted this?
And I was like, I don't know.
Rembrandt.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know painters very well. I like paintings. But
most people would, particular one, most people would say Rembrandt.
Same guy that did the Mona Lisa, maybe. And you're like, well, actually, it was Pascal. And you would not expect
Picasso.
Picasso, yeah. You said it's Picasso's mother, I believe it was.
There's Picasso's mother and his daughter, the two different paintings.
He painted them in a very classical way. And, Picasso's not known for painting in, like, a classical painter.
He's known for what he did with Picasso's daughter.
Yeah,
which is where
exactly. So he had to learn the traditional way before he went out on his own and did the other way. And I think that's a great way to look at it. We have to do it, like, to the book almost a little bit, and then shape it and mold it to what works best for us. And then we can tell the rest of the community colleges, like, hey, here's how we actually went about doing that. And I think it will be better refined. I think it will be better when it's refined for our area.
To me, it is the epitome of, I'm going to throw out another academic jargon here. It is the epitome of being student-focused, student-centered, meeting the student where they're at.
Right.
We try to do that. But this, because it's self-paced, it allows me to, if I have a struggling student, to go at their pace. But if I have a higher flying student, they're not forced to slow down to this pace.
Yeah.
They can go at their own. They're done with the class in 3 days. Okay, go on to the next class. Which to me, that's exciting because as an educator, it prevents me from getting stressed out about the ones who do need more help, because I worry about, I got to make sure I've got to keep this on schedule for these other ones. And it just alleviates that so that I can really help those who do need the more help, but I can also provide what the other one needs.
What they need.
So while I'm helping this one and then I get them working on something to kind of practice these skills, this other one is like, okay, well, can you show me this thing from, 16 weeks from now that I'm working on? And it's meeting them where they truly are at.
Yeah.
And the potential is there.
Good potential.
And I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm looking forward to finding out what doesn't work so that it can be fixed.
Right.
We've been doing that for the last 5 years in our labs.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, well, this didn't work. Let's not do it that way again. And we're getting better and better and better in what we are presenting to the students and how we're presenting it as far as all the hands-on stuff, which is almost competency-based anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to a lot of the potential that I see.
And I like that we're in constant flux trying to make it as good as possible, work the best as possible, because we really have gone more towards the skill-based examination. So, like, just for example, in Net 125, which is our first real networking class, it's kind of like networking, introduction to networking.
Right, yeah.
And for the final in that class, I say pull up to a physical pod in here and get 2 switches and 2 routers talking to each other.
Yeah.
and on 2 different computers. And like that is they have to bring that with them. Now obviously I kind of like the idea of them having a single sheet of like a cheat sheet that they've handwritten and things on that. Like I'm totally fine with that. But like that is almost a competency.
Oh, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
And then you can break down what they're having to do within it. You know, they have to subnet, they have to configure the switch, they have to configure the router, they've got to configure the PCs.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, DHCP isn't involved.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what DHCP is. Well, that's fine. It wasn't part of this class.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different class. But yeah, you have to set up the networking on those computers. And most of the students that we've seen, all they've ever done on their computer is go to the Wi-Fi button in the bottom right, click it, and select a wireless network.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, you know,
they're going to have to understand what an IP address is, what their subnet mask
so
is.
like as we look at your final skills thing, it was like, well, there's a chunk of competencies
throughout
that lead up to being able to do that.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, if you can do this, then well done. You can go on to
the next
126.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go on to the next class. And I guess you are right. It is like we have built competencies already from what we have seen to work. Like,
right.
When you complete this, you're showing me that you can do it. And now that I'm thinking about it, it actually does. I do have some of those students that are like, okay, I'm not going to worry about actually doing that as best as possible because I have all these other grades to help.
I have all this other,
sponge.
This final skills assessment is only 20%. If I get a 50 out of it, I got 10 points. I can do the math. It's, okay.
So if I make a 50 on it, I'll make a 90 and then go on.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll go for a 70 on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sweat the bullets on everything. But if it's a competency, you have to pass it at 80% or higher.
Yeah, 80% or higher. So it's at a 10-point grade scale. We were talking about this yesterday. It's A/B fail. So...
Well, let's not talk about that.
Well, we'll get into that another time because it became a discussion for like 45 minutes.
Although, since you mentioned fail, I mean, since you bring it up, you were telling me yesterday about this thing that happened on Steam where basically somebody failed.
Oh, yeah.
Like in a bad way.
So, I didn't read an article. I just saw this on like a social media post again. So there's information out there. But apparently what happened is someone was creating games. Really what they were doing is they just bought a lot of assets. So they went to a humble bundle.
Asset flipping.
Yeah, they got assets. They got a free game engine, put the assets in the game engine, maybe even got like coding assets to just like have the game run and do things because there's a lot of tutorials that do that.
Yeah, I mean it's
So they would essentially make a shovelware game.
Okay.
But they would actually hide malware in that game. So when someone would download it and activate it, it would, while they were playing the game, scan their computer for not their computer. It would scan their histories and things like that for open websites where they were using their crypto wallet. And then from what I understand, they would have their crypto wallet send their crypto to another one and just essentially drain them of money while they're playing this game.
Seems like that would take a little bit of programming know-how.
Yeah, just a little bit maybe. And from what I understood is they had done it with multiple games.
Okay.
And they did it on Steam. Now, one thing you know about Steam is they do not mess around.
No, they're zero tolerance.
Yeah, they are zero tolerance. And the crazy thing is like for like game devs that are actually trying to make a good game, they will bend over backwards to help them. But if someone's trying to be nefarious, they crack down hard. So they got all this guy's info,
right,
and sent the FBI after him like immediately. So they are, yeah,
nice.
It is,
yeah,
and it's not something to mess around with. You have people paying for it. Not only did someone, and maybe it was a free game, I didn't look into it,
right,
but maybe they even had people pay $1 or $2 for this, and then put malware on their computer. Oh boy,
That sounds nefarious. It really does.
it's huge.
Although something you said in there kind of like shook another story I was reading about a week ago loose. So there was a developer. Is a developer? Yeah, there is a developer who made some games. But really small games, short games, like designed to be less than a 2-hour gaming experience,
Right.
and then maybe you play it again. Maybe even some multiplayer, just little short fun off things. But due to Steam's refund policy, you can request a refund in 2 hours.
Oh wow.
So people would buy the game, play it, request the refund. Yeah. I mean, not that I have an opinion one way or the other, but I read that. I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And to me, it said less about Steam and more about, I don't know, like our society even. I mean, I'm one of those that if I buy something and I like it or I use it, I don't take it back.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things where you're like, hey, you did this was a good thing.
Yeah.
Here's some,
and
it was probably not expensive games either.
Probably not. Probably $2 or whatever. Even if if it's something that I really really don't like, I buy it and I really really don't like it, I still don't take it back because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be re-traumatized by this thing. So I'm just not a real big refund person.
Yeah.
I actually have stuff at the house, like for my chainsaw. I bought the wrong size chain. It's hanging on the wall at the house. I didn't take it back
you
because
might get a chainsaw that's that size.
I might. And besides which, I view it as my bad.
Oh, and you can resize a chain, but I mean,
oh, you can?
There are some things.
Is this like peach tree farming though?
No, they got those little you can.
Yeah, I guess you could add a link or whatever.
Chain,
yeah. But I mean, my point is, I have a chain that doesn't fit my chainsaw. I am just that anti.
Yeah.
Asking for refunds.
So you're saying that you're someone who's not going to refund anything for any reason, and then there's some people that are buying something,
enjoying it,
getting the full experience out of it, and then refunding it. So that's like two extremes, I feel.
I don't feel like I'm an extreme. I don't know how I feel about labels, but
we don't have left and rights here. We have the refunders and the no refunders, and then there's somewhere in the middle where people are like, "Yeah, I bought the wrong thing. I will take it back."
That was my fault. That's my bad.
Oh well,
that's on me.
I'll learn. I'm gonna learn not to buy something that I didn't make sure was the right thing.
Well, there's other things too. Like some stores, if you don't have the receipt. And I'm really bad for throwing the receipt out.
Oh, all right.
And actually won't even get into my whole Walmart receipt thing because that's a whole different thing. But a lot of times I don't make it out of Walmart with the receipt. Well, I guess I will just say it. Because they say, "Can I see a receipt?" And I just hand it to them and keep walking. And they're like, "Well, you can have it back." And I said, "You wanted to see it. Have fun." No, you can't look in my bag. No, you can't look in my shopping cart. But here's the receipt. Have fun. Maybe I'm not a nice person.
No, you're a nice person. Don't think about that.
I need to talk to my counselor about this next week. I'm going to put this on my counselor to talk list. So maybe it's just I don't like confrontation. Some stores have really difficult refund policies, and I've just gotten to where at my stage in life, it was $25, whatever.
I'm totally, and I actually am like that too. Like I really don't like taking things back.
And I might need I might get a chainsaw that fits this chain someday.
Even if I buy some food like at a restaurant and it's not the right thing, I'm just like, I'll eat it.
I mean, it could be worse.
but thankfully I married someone who's like, no, if that's not the right thing, we're getting it fixed. So thanks, hon, for doing the thing I don't want to do. Yeah, it's funny enough. It's she probably also does the refund stuff for me too. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm with you. I don't really like confrontation when it comes to things like that.
Right. Yeah.
But going back to that, I'm curious how they're going to solve that.
I don't think it is solvable within their policy.
If you only have a 2-hour experience, people can just buy it. And
yeah, it's not a Steam policy that that's at issue, in my opinion.
It's not.
And this article was actually, Steam needs to fix this. To me, I was like, no, we as a society need to fix this.
Exactly, yeah, because Steam does a lot of good things for their customers. It's honestly, when it comes to the gaming scene, they are probably one of the best companies that actually look out for their customers. So it's kind of hard to say, well, there's more that you have to do on your back end to make sure that. No, it's just don't do that. Just don't, and we can't really tell people how to be, but for, if you enjoy an experience like that when it comes to gaming, then don't just refund it in the 2-hour period that you've got it, I
mean, be excellent to each other.
Exactly.
Or is it be excellent to one another? I think it's to each other.
To each other, I think, yeah.
And party on.
Yeah, party on.
Be excellent to each other and party on.
Yeah, I'm never going to forget that year you dressed up for the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was Bill.
Yeah.
Bill Prescott.
Yeah.
Esquire.
It was the time traveler.
Yeah,
weekend.
time traveler weekend at Ren Fair, and I was Bill. And we get there, and I walk in, and somebody comes up and says, "I got to take a picture with you." I'm like, "Why?" And there's, that's right. I am. I'm Bill. Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm dressed up.
So then
I had to. Yeah, man, those are fun times. You haven't been with me in a couple of years to Ren Fair.
No.
I'm gonna say it on the podcast.
You're going to guilt me into it, huh?
Well, it's kind of...
The non-confrontational person is going to guilt me into going to Ren Fair again.
No, I actually have enjoyed going. I will say this, though. When you go every year, it kind of loses its magic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I've gone every year for the last few years, and I got to say... every time I go, I'm like, man, my kids would love this. So it probably would change the whole experience to have them go with me. And you see people walking around with their kids in little backpacks and stuff.
Yeah.
My kids are a little too big for that now. So
I mean, you could do it anyway.
But my little daughter, she would love to dress up like a princess and just walk around. Because she's a little princess. She would love to walk around and...
I mean, your son would dress him up as a tractor.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a worker. Just give him an orange vest.
Can we fix it? Yes, we can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would be fun.
Oh yeah,
I feel
why
like
not?
they would love it.
Yeah.
And there are those free kid weekends, which we normally try to avoid because it's just I'm shocked at how many people are there now. Like, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's hard to even move on some of the days you go, and you're like, I want to go get me a broccoli bread bowl. It's like, well, I hope you're not hungry now because you're going to be in line.
It's
going
to take 3 hours.
Yeah, an hour or two.
So you have to go get in line 3 hours before you're hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I might be hungry in an hour. I'm going to go get in line.
It reminds me of that one. I guess I don't progressive or whatever. That the new homeowners becoming their parents. I don't know if you've seen those ads, but they're at an amusement park and they're all plotting when are they going to eat. And the main guy's like, why don't we just eat when we get hungry? And they just keep talking. They're like, well, I think I might be hungry in about an hour.
Yeah.
If that would work for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the Ren Fair, you actually do have to do that.
You got to plan.
If you want to eat in an hour, you got to line up now.
Yeah, you got to plan ahead.
But it's weird though, and I kind of like data. I did a big data class. I'm not sure I like big data, but I am curious about what is the perfect time to line up, because there is a window of time earlier in the morning to about lunchtime where there's no line at all.
Right.
So it's like if let's just say you're going to be hungry at 12 o'clock and you're like, all right, I heard this awesome podcast and these two great dudes
in hats.
They said, for some reason, two guys chatting in hats.
Yeah.
They said to line up an hour before I'm hungry, and they go to line up and there's no line at all. And they're like, I'm not even hungry. And they lied to me. They're the worst. There probably is a perfect window of time. And the nerd in me is like, I'm curious as to when the perfect.
Well, maybe our 15 viewers will go like get us some data points so we can start plotting it out.
They're actually, and we have Adam at the college.
Okay.
The guy is he likes data.
Oh, yeah.
We could work. We could figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
We need someone to go. All right. Here's what we need. We need someone to go to the Ren Fair every weekend that it's happening this year.
Both days or just?
Yeah, but it's got to be
so that way we can even separate the 2 days.
It's got to be every day, and then here's the hard part. It has to be every booth that you could possibly get food at too.
What if we just go for data points on like the turkey leg?
Oh yeah, well it's got to be. I guess it has to be, but you can get the turkey leg at.
Oh, there's a couple. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not. They don't just have turkey legs at one place. So
it sounds like a family project.
Exactly. It's got to be. It's got to be. All right, guys, let's do it. You're at this booth. You're at this booth. You're at this booth. And then, but really, I mean, it's probably only like 3 hours of observation. It's only
Probably.
3 hours. Okay. So you're there at 10 o'clock and you're checking the booth. It's probably empty, right? But then around 12, it gets a little crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to also like kind of guesstimate how many people are there. And then, so there's probably a perfect day and a perfect time where you're like, all right, if you're going to be hungry at 1 p.m.,
right?
and you're at there at this day, and you line up at this time, and you'll be at the perfect moment to get food.
I mean, there's potential, but I think the first pass is just going to be correlation.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
we're going to have to, then you're going to have to bring in weather.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to change stuff. And then you're also going to have to bring in the event of the weekend because you mentioned the Free Kids weekend, which is going to have a different population than the time travel weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's like
that all factors in.
This is going to have to be multiple years.
It's the first pass will get a good correlation, but we're not going to be causal.
Exactly. If we start planning out now, in 5 years, we might be able to pin down
this is how you eat at Ren Fair.
About the time you should line up.
At least for the turkey leg.
For at least
now,
for
if you want something else, we're gonna need NSF funding for that.
Every time I go to the Ren Fair, I'm like, man, that turkey leg looks so good.
I've never had one.
But the one time I actually bought one, I was like, man, it's all right.
I wouldn't know. I've never had one.
Yeah, but I really like the bread bowl.
I have had that.
The bread bowls are so good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, I can't.
So let's not study the turkey leg. Let's study the bread bowl.
We got to study the bread bowl because that's what we like.
Yeah.
So
that's what we care about.
Really, the data is for me and you.
Mainly you.
Yeah, and I don't know why I'm like, oh yeah, it would be really fun because it would take so much time to figure that out.
It's weird because my refund thing, like I won't get a refund for something, but you take me out into a public setting like that. I'm one of those really weird people, rude people who like cut line without like. I'm just like, sorry.
I'm still.
I'm this really weird dichotomy of like weirdness that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's actually kind of true. I don't think it's weird. I think it just makes you so unique because I'm the kind of guy. I remember the first year I went to Skills USA in Georgia, and we had a student who was kind of sad because they didn't get their food, and I was like, man, that is a bummer. And you're like, oh, they didn't get your food? I'll just immediately go up and solve that right now.
I didn't ask for a refund, though.
No refund.
Okay, so there was no refund.
Money was not involved.
No, there was no refund.
But it was like, bring me this food because someone's missing it. This is their number.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, But actually, it might be parent training. Maybe you've been like that forever. But now I feel like I would do that because I'm like, what if that was my little kid? I'm gonna get them their food.
I mean, if he's your son, he can just go build the food.
Oh yeah,
he'll be all right. He'll just truck through it.
Yeah, we actually have been doing a lot of. I do want to get him involved in cooking. Pretty early
cooking would
on,
be good
because for me, and it's no knock to my parents. They watch, so hey, mom.
We do have parental units watching.
So
okay.
The I didn't really cook a lot, and it wasn't their fault. It was because I didn't want to really do it. There was nothing like that because my nana and everybody would love for me to have been like, hey, let me get my hands in there and make some biscuits. But,
yeah.
But I kind of want to get him involved in that. So like when he gets a little older.
Oh, do we have a spam call?
Oh.
We have a telemarketer from Wyoming. I feel like your story's more interesting. Okay, yeah, your story's more interesting. One of these days, I'm gonna have to do it.
I was waiting with bated breath to see what was going to
happen. Hey, you're on the air with Two Hats and a Chat.
Welcome to Two Hats and a Chat. Yeah, but I do want him to learn how to, like, obviously not get burned or anything, but like, by the time he's 12, 13, teenager, he could cook a steak or something.
My oldest, speaking of cooking, my oldest, child sub 1, he. I mean, you know him, so you know why I'm kind of doing it. He was about like 5, and my wife was cooking, and she had the burner was like red hot, and he's just standing next to her, and she says, "Don't touch that." It's like. Yeah. What are you doing? All right, he just stares at her, reaches out, and puts his hand on the red hot burner. It's like, child sub 1, what are you doing?
I actually think that, hey, that's a classic way to learn. Pain is an excellent teacher.
I mean, I guess.
And there was warning, so the lesson was complete.
I feel like this is competency based right there.
It was. It was like everything you've learned up to this point, which is one of the things being listen to what I tell you.
That's one of them, yeah. Yeah. So,
and then it really was a lesson.
Yeah.
And it was a complete one at that, because there was a warning, and then it was like, oh, that's why you don't do it. It was complete, done.
I mean, yeah, it was, but that was interesting. But my whole thing with that though is that he now actually does the majority of the cooking.
Oh wow!
For he and his wife. So yeah, get him involved in cooking.
Obviously, you do this to see if it's ready.
I hope he doesn't. I just have bad feelings. Like, no, that's not ready yet. Yeah. No blisters. It's not ready yet.
Yeah, that's one thing because we just switched to like a gas stovetop, and my nana's had one forever. But when you're learning to use it, you turn it on, and then you let it run for a little while, and I put my hand near it just to see about how much it is, because I learned a lot from last year, because I was like, I'm going to become a grill master.
Okay,
so I could
good idea.
So I was like, and I didn't have any way to determine the temperature of the grill. Like, obviously it has a little thingy, but it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong because I mean, when you open it up and it sucks a lot of air in there, there's no telling what it is. But the surface will be a kind of steady temperature. So I've noticed that I can hover my hand over 450, 500 degrees for maybe a second or two before I'm like, eesh, that's really hot. So that's about the temperature I like to cook, like sear a steak at.
Okay, yeah.
Is about 450, 500. So I can tell now pretty good with that. Obviously, I don't want my son sticking his hand up there.
Well, how else will he learn it?
But yeah, I mean, that's true too, but I don't know. I would feel like I'm more, I don't know if I'm more sensitive to heat now than I was, but it's kind of a personal thing. It's kind of like describing the color blue to someone that can't see the color blue. Like, you have to experience that yourself to determine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess you're right about that.
It is interesting though, because I do the same thing. Put my hand over the grill.
Yeah.
And I remember, not so much growing up, but I remember like seeing other people do that and just thinking, that's weird. And then as I was starting to learn to grill and going through my own, I'd try it, and I'm like, I'm not really understanding what it is. Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, get a little idea.
I see the color blue.
Yeah.
Now I need to taste the color blue.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can really understand it
better. If I
were
to describe the color blue, but you don't know anything about RGB, how would you do it?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, it's 00255, of course. What?
I mean,
there are objective blues, but you kind of have to. It's if you think about it, if you were to describe a color to, so that's why the book the Giver or whatever was so hard to be like, oh, he's talking about colors.
yeah.
Oh, he's seeing colors for the first time.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the way it was worded and taking you through
Terrible
the experience.
Bike at 8. Okay, that's awesome. No, I don't know. If I reread it now, it might be different. But yeah, it's kind of like that. And the same thing too. Like when you're testing, like the cook on at least a steak. There's my brother-in-law's taught me a skill. He's like, put your finger like this. I don't know if they can see it, and then go through and like this is medium well, and this is medium, and this is medium rare.
Okay.
So like the how your hand does tension. So when you touch the steak, if it's about that tension, it's at that cook. So if you want to do it without using a probe or anything, you can kind of tell like, oh, is that okay? That's feeling kind of tough. It's probably getting closer to medium well, and that's a little loose, so it might be medium, and that's kind of like that feeling, so it's like medium rare.
Okay. Looking at you that time, I actually got what you're doing. I was like, no, I'm not getting it. You're pushing on the
pushing on my
on
palm,
the pad of your
on
hand.
the pad of my hand. Yeah.
So yeah, this is around the thumb region was softer, and over here in where it's like just muscle, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a lot harder. I got you now.
Yeah, exactly.
I see it now.
Yeah. And then also you'll see. So we started watching a lot of cooking shows in the last few years. So like Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen, he doesn't allow people to have probes,
right?
Because they're supposed to be like professional cooks before the time they even get there in that competition.
Okay.
But they'll press on the steak to determine what cook it is. And so I've started trying to do that. I'm not as good at it.
Right.
I mean, I can't tell if it's like 135 internal or things like that, because obviously you want to give it time to cook after you take it off. Rest
time. Yeah.
But I'm getting there.
Getting there. Yeah. I mean, I learned something.
Yeah, and then whenever I start teaching both of my kids, I'm not saying just my son's going to learn how to cook. It's just he's going to get there sooner. So I can
because he's older.
So I can learn how to teach better by the time my daughter wants to cook a steak, I guess.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That could happen. Yeah. That makes sense.
Competency based.
That's the moral of the day.
Yeah.
Point of the day. Yeah. Moral.
Word of the day.
Yeah.
Acronym of the day.
Yeah.
CBE.
CBE. I'm still really excited about it. I think there's awesome potential.
There is a super high potential.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about the other end on this episode.
Well, I mean, with everything you try, there is your possible, rough spots.
Right.
But, if we do this and we find those rough spots, we smooth them out, it's only going to get better.
We shore them up. That's what I think. I think you're right. We don't let it get to the point to where it's so bad we can't solve it.
Yeah.
You shore it up.
Yeah.
As you go. So.
And I think it's, like I said, I'm really excited about it. And I just want to jump in and try it, find out what doesn't work and fix it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm ready to go.
We're not trying, we're doing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having some students in that program this fall in the online CBE certificate. Self-paced, skill-based. See you there.
Learn stuff.
That was supposed to be your line in the ad. See you there.
See you there.
I still want to film that version of the ad.
You know what? We should.
Because what you were going to be looking at was going to be the packet capture that had WannaCry in it, that had the whole campus all excited the other day. So yeah.
Elaborate, Jerry. WannaCry on campus? What?
Yeah. Everybody needs to have WannaCry in their home system and their enterprise system. And if you don't know what it is, don't get it.
Don't get it. Probably read about it first.
Google it. And what I actually told my students as part of that assignment was to, who are the players involved in this particular thing? Google it. Google will tell you. But I was actually after one specific thing, and I just wanted to have a discussion with them about the role of nation states, about, I don't know. It becomes I want to say slippery slope, but it just becomes a discussion where it's like, do we want our nation state actors to have eternal blue?
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and say it. Do we want them to have that? Or do we want to whistleblow that they have that? And what happened as a result?
Yeah.
It ended up with North Korea, if I remember correctly.
I feel like we could talk a whole hour on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Because it's one of those things where... do you want our country to do something like that? Or do you want... I'm just saying it's a conversation as far as what role,
we like to talk about, the cyber defense of the nation. In this case, obviously we're referring to the United States, but if I'm in Canada, I'm referring to Canada. If I'm in wherever I am, and I guess it's best to just kind of like not beat around the bush. Sure, you can go Google things, do the rabbit hole. That's wonderful. But kind of like under the hood of WannaCry, which was a horrible ransomware attack in 2017, was this tool called Eternal Blue that was developed by the National Security Agency here in the United States that had a 0-day exploit for Windows. And they had been sitting on Eternal Blue for like 5 years. And then it got, taken.
Yeah.
and it went somewhere else. And then it got used for bad purposes. What we would call bad, but what they would call good. It gets, when you start getting into nation state actors, this whole white hat, black hat, gray hat really, it depends on what side you're on.
Based on perspective.
What side you're on. So, do I want the NSA to have tools like Eternal Blue? It's like, well, I want them to be able to shut down centrifuges in other countries. That wasn't done with Eternal Blue. That was done with a USB stick. If you don't know what I'm referring to, Google it. Yeah, I want them to have that ability, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But that's it. That's just it. I just want to have that conversation with the students. And that's another area where I feel like CBE comes in really well as too, because we don't have to sit down and focus on, this assignment, the test. We don't have to focus on this traditional class. Instead, hey, we're doing this thing. How does that fit into the bigger picture?
Right.
How do we start incorporating all that? Just a really simple example. One of our favorite students in the last few years, and we have several. So if you're not this student, don't be like, oh, they don't like me. It's like, no, I said one of our favorite students.
If you're our favorite, So if you're watching the video right now and you don't think you're your favorite, you're not.
Actually, if you're watching the video right now, you are.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking, but if you're watching the video, you are. So come on now, we got to sell this better than that. But yeah, so this particular student use Linux scripts, bash scripts, fairly regularly in their job, and they have a command, a grep command that they're supposed to use as well, but was always like, didn't really understand it. And then when he took Linux with us, did some stuff on grep, but it wasn't just, hey, there's this assignment. Instead, it was this, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's play with this.
Yeah.
We have this thing. Let's play with it. And then it was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like one of my big holdups, I'll just say it, is I'm afraid of students no longer wanting to come to the class. But if you miss out on things like that, you can kind of treat the class, the literal physical place, like a sandbox at that point. So you can say, I don't want to run this on my own equipment right now. I kind of want to treat it like a sandbox to figure out how best to use it before I implement it at work or at my home or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like that style is perfect for someone to be like, hey, let's see this specific tool and work with it and learn it and kind of see why we want to use it.
Yeah.
And that environment exists there to do that. So,
I mean, and the competencies are set up in such a way that, you have to complete a thingy, but it's not so much click here, click here, click here.
Right.
You have to understand the process.
Exactly.
Like the example I used earlier was, set up a DHCP server. Well, in order to do that, you're going to have to know how to subnet. You're going to have to actually understand that.
Yeah.
If I give you a network address space and it's like, hey, I want these address, blah, 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 you're going to have to understand that.
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite way to do assignments. And a lot of my students realize this, and I even tell them this in like a programming class. And it's why I don't want to use unit testing is because
Yeah.
I don't tell them how to go about doing a thing. I just say this needs to be done.
Yeah.
So maybe they do want to type everything into main and just have it work. Maybe they do want to separate them into classes and have functions and methods and do things.
Object oriented.
Obviously, like, and it's like, do it how you thought of to do it. And I think that that's excellent. And the competency is the same way. I'm not telling you how to go about doing it. I'm just saying it needs to be done by the end of your competency test or the time or whatever that I'm giving you to do it. And that's one good thing. And that's why I'm like, oh, maybe we already are doing competency.
I mean, we are in some ways, and we every year, in May we get together and we're like, this didn't work. Oh, but this did work.
Yeah.
And we keep refining it. We're moving more and more and more in that direction.
Skill based.
And just bringing CBE in would just like force me to move more.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need a little kick because I can be a bit of a stick in the mud and be like, no, I'm not going anywhere. But it's okay to be like, hey, Jerry, why don't you actually do this thing and try it? No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make you. Okay, fine. Sometimes I need that, and I try stuff. So it's the potential is really there. But going back to what you were just saying about do it your way, I was overhearing a conversation you were having with students who were working on Network Plus yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And they had to do something with HPing 3, and you had to do this way, this way, this way. You got credit.
Yeah.
This one, this one, this one, it didn't score it.
It didn't score it.
Did it actually change the results? No. So a lot of assignments that we currently use, you have to figure out how the system wants to grade the assignment, which is not a competency.
It's not.
Competency is you're going to use these 3 commands, and it actually doesn't matter what order you. If you think about setting up a switch, do I have to put passwords on it as the first step? It's like, no. But how does Cisco do it? That's the kind of the first thing you do. I don't.
No.
Because I lock them down later.
Yeah,
because
I'm
in and out as I'm setting stuff up. I'm in and out, in and out, in and out.
Exactly, yeah.
Then it's all working, lock it down.
Yeah, and that's one thing too is like when I'm teaching in class and we're actually looking at the hardware for like a router, and I'll say I don't lock it down first. I'd like to do the IP address, DHCP, all that stuff first, and then go lock it down later so that I don't have to type in the password every time I come in here to do something. And but I just mentioned how I like to do it. Now, if some student wants to do it the opposite way, like top down,
they can, yeah.
They can if they want. And like you said, it doesn't matter the way you do it as long as the end is at the point we want it.
But there are some systems that if you don't do it in the order they want it in, that impacts how it gets automatically graded.
Yeah.
Which is why we're moving towards this competency-based, is using in-person, hands-on. It's not automatically graded. Currently, we're going to be using some automated stuff because we're just trying to get this going, figure some stuff out. But long-term, we want to go in what I think is a really exciting direction with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Long-term, if we want it to become you come in physically to do your competency, and we had some ideas bouncing around yesterday that I thought would work great. So I'm hoping we get to move in that positive, in my mind, a positive direction if it comes to the point to where we decide we're just doing this.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Exciting times, good potential. So I guess I'm about ready to go to Winston.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to go ahead and jet. And so everybody remember, let's stay secure out there, and Panda out.
Panda out.